There it is. Everything good? Hello. So, guys, if you're watching, please share. Invite your friends. It's Saturday. Everyone's bored. I mean, maybe not everyone's bored, but this is a fun thing to do, right? Please send to your friends. You hear me? That's great. And yeah, let's get started. So, welcome to Wardrobe School. Here's where you can learn how to make clothes for yourself or to sell. I'm Vanya, and today we're going to finish the circle skirt that we started the other day. If you missed that class, you can still catch it. It's still on Instagram and on IGTV. So you can just go and watch that one. It's a quick one. In the first part, I showed how to make the pattern. And today we're going to cut and sew the skirt. Okay, the thing with the skirt is that you can, for this one, I'm going to put a waistband and everything. But you can use the same cut to make like a dress, do different lengths, do different designs for your skirt. It's just a good thing to know how to cut a circle skirt. It can even be like a collar. Some sleeves have the same principle of the skirt. So it's good for you to know. Okay, let's do it. This might be a little long. This class is kind of long because the fabric is big and and then there's a zipper and everything. So I'm gonna do up to an hour. If you can finish in an hour, great. If not, we just finish next time. Okay, so I'm gonna work up until an hour and then see, because over an hour is too much, right? So let me know, have you ever sewn a circle skirt, or do you like it? What do you think? How do you feel about it? You know what a circle skirt is, right? A full skirt. They also called an umbrella skirt because it's like an umbrella, it's like a full circle. All right. So let me put my machine on the side and we can start working with the pattern. So here's how I decided how to I mean, what fabric, right? Let me take a sip of water. You need a lot of fabric for this. This is the thing. It has to be like a large piece of fabric because it takes room. The skirt is just big. Always wanted to learn. Okay, just watch the first one. Can you understand? Tanya, hi Tanya. Watch the first class and then you learn. But I think you were in the first class, right? So you know how to cut the pattern. It's great. And remember how I did. Let me show you guys the pattern if you missed the first part. I made a weird pattern because it just saves time and paper. Okay. And hey guys, if you're on Facebook, I'm here. Okay, I just don't want to be like, hi Sandy. I put my camera on the side today, see, so you can see like this view, and my face is not showing, but I'm here. Okay. So this is the pattern that I cut, and then I made a little waistband. So the pattern is proper for my own waist, and then the waistband also is like a double side. So this I place on fold of the fabric. I'll show you how to cut it. And then the fabric, you do need a big piece, but then you can always like add up to the piece you have, right? So you probably have seen there is no really, like, it's very hard to find a piece of fabric that's so big enough to cut that whole, it's like a kite, a whole thing, or like a parakeet, how you call this, the thing that you jump from, we call paraquedas, I forgot. Oh, thank you. If you like the streams, I try to teach as much as I can, to share my knowledge. So here's what I've done. Oh, I was saying, like, the fabric is hard to find. It's like like duvets. You could take like a piece of a duvet that's already big and then cut it, and then you just put if you have space. I don't have space. I always have a small studio, so you can just put the whole piece there and then cut it, right? But I don't have that kind of space, so I always work with the fabric folded. And this skirt I'm gonna do up to like 20 something inches, and then I'll put ruffles on the bottom. And so I think, for me, that's how the design I decide on. But if you want to make like a full long length, maxi and full skirt, then you need to add pieces of fabric together. in order to have that amount of room to cut your pattern, okay? But for me, I have this fabric that I bought last week at a thrift store. I already washed it, and I want to make a two-piece set. So it is 57 inches wide. Okay, so the width of the fabric is like this. See how the salvage of the fabric is this is cool because it's very clear, right? So the fabric is made like this. And then what I did is I cut in a square piece. So it's 57 wide from the factory. So I go and cut 50 by 57 long. And then I just fold on bias. It's like origami a little bit. Look. So I just, my goal here is just to fold it and have as much room as possible to work with, to then place my pattern and then cut the skirt. Here it is. Trying to be accurate here. It's not perfect, you know. I could iron. I ironed a little because I did washed it and then it was wrinkled and I ironed it. But I could probably have ironed a little more. But it's okay for the class. You guys understand. So if you have, you know, a nice wide table, it'll be easier. For me, I have this kind of narrow, but it's good. So then I have this line. All I want to find is this line here, this long line. And then what I need now that's folded and nice, I need to find the center here. So I fold again just to find the center. And this is another way to, you could cut the waist from here, but then it's like on a guess. You don't want to guess. You want to do, you know, you want to do like accurate. So I just need to find the center, and then I'm going to put a pin right here. And then I know the center. Then smooth the fabric on the table. And I'm going to place the pattern. So this is my center. And so if the fabric was all open, I would just use my entire pattern, right? Like this. I could cut like this, and this would be the skirt, but that would be like a doll skirt, right? It wouldn't fit me, or it would be like short. But this is, for instance, if you want to do a peplum shirt that just has the ruffle here, that's how you do it. It's like this, right? But I went along, so, and since I fold my fabric, I can also fold my pattern. And then I have the center here, the center line of my pattern. I'm going to line up with this center here, and also line the sides of this pattern to this line here of my folded fabric. Okay, and then I need to put some sort of weight here so it holds on place. You can pin it. I'm actually going to pin it so it's easier for me to work. And this already has my seam allowance for my waist. And now is the fun part. It's so I'm gonna trace the length of the skirt. So the way I do like this, I cut this little piece because then I can decide on any length of skirt I want, right? And I measured the other day, and I thought from my waist to there, 20, 21 will be enough. And then I will add the ruffle. But so then I measure from my line, because here's like there on Instagram, I hope you guys can see. It's like the waistline here, and then the seam allowance. So I'm gonna measure from the waistline and see how my pattern, I don't know if you guys can see on Instagram, but I don't have, so here's long, right? And I could go all the way there. But then my corners here, because it's a triangle, I don't have, it's limited. It goes just up to here. And that's where, let me move like this so you can see it. You see how like here it limits, right? That's how you would make it longer. So then you would add a piece of fabric here to make it longer until you have the whole circle. But for me, I'll just measure from my seam allowance or from the waistline to up to whatever I have fabric, which is probably here. And that gives me like 22. So I'm gonna work with 22 because here there's the also like the salvage of the fabric I don't want to show. I think, yeah, I'm gonna do 22 from the edge, from the seam allowance, okay? And that will be a 20-inch long skirt if it was just the skirt, because consider the seam allowance for the hem. How many yards for it? How you count? So I did 57. I just made a square. So the width of the fabric is 57. I cut 57 inches, part of the skirt, which is what, 1.5 yard, 2 yard, almost 2 yards, right? Because the yard is like 34, isn't it? 30? I forgot. Did you ever work in the garment industry as a pattern maker? No, I'm not actually a pattern maker. That's the problem. Not the problem, but I made my own ways to make stuff because I had to figure out how to do it in order to survive. That was my work. That's how I made stuff in New York when I first moved there. So I have those like, I mix all systems, you know? So I wish I was a pattern maker. I'm not. I tried to go to school back in the day, but I couldn't take it. It's too much math, too much. Um, yeah, I think 2 yards is enough. How much is 57 inches? You guys, can you calculate there for me? 57 inches. So what did I say? 22, right? So I'm going to measure 22 from the seam allowance. And then I'll put a mark there. Let me get my chalk. Where's my chalk? Hold on, guys. My chalk is missing. Find it. Here it is. So 22 down. And here's the thing. Because if I measure from here to there, I know it's like a straight line and it's correct. And the same thing I can do here from my edge here from the seam allowance, 22. So here it's the same. And then the other side, the same thing, 22. Try to be accurate there so your skirt is even when you dress, you know, when you put it on. Otherwise, it's all like weird. Okay, so the strip points I have and it's correct. But now if I measure from here, I should also have an angle right there. And that is not super accurate for me. So I like to work from the tip here, from this point, because that would be like a compass. I make a compass with my tape. And then I have to measure this length here, from here to where I put my first mark there. This is 26.5 inches. So then I can work, I can even make 27.5, pin my tape here, which, you know, you might make a hole in your tape, but that's okay. And then I can also wanna put a weight so it holds here. And then 27.5. And I just go around making some marks. I took the pin away because it's holding down, but then you just make sure it's right there. So 26.5 right here. And then as many marks as you do, you place on the fabric, will be easier for you to cut it, right? But it's pretty much a compass. Sort of like there. Okay. So far, so good. Hi, Chloe. So much math. I like math. I used to be good at math in school, but when you start to like do uh, art stuff, you're like, I don't want to do math. Chloe, are you Chloe from Instagram, or you're a different Chloe? Mangin Chloe? You're showing up on Facebook? Hi, Zahara. 54 inches. It's 1.5 yards. So you have around okay. 1.5 yards. Yeah, so it's 1 5/8. Okay. Thank you so much, Sandy, because me with I grew up with meters and it's so much easier. Okay. 26.5 is a match. Yeah, it's exactly where I marked. Oh, it's so good. See, it's working, guys. All right, so now I have my marks. I could do by hand, but I can also use my French curve that's here to just finish the tray. It helps do the circle here. Be careful to not like alter the shape of the you must trace on top of your marks, otherwise will change the shape and then the skirt will look strange. And it's hard to crop the skirt when it's a circle skirt. See, I already messed up here a little bit. It'll be fine. When I cut it, it should work. Don't be too precious. You I always say that, guys. Try. Even if it goes wrong, it's okay. You can do it again later. Don't be scared. Okay. Almost finishing. There it is. Cool, right? Then I'm going to trace the waist here. And I already have my seam allowance because I calculated, and you can see how I did that on the first class. That's on IGTV. And there it is. I have it. This is a Taylor's chalk pencil. It's pretty cool. You can switch the colors. You can find the Joann's and online and stuff. Okay, so one thing I have to do. So the first I do is to cut the waist first. Right, then I have a little ball that I feel like saving and applying somewhere. Look, it could be an applique, right? And then I have this. So this is my waist, and I have to put a zipper right on the skirt. This might fit me like that, but then if it was a dress, you make a little wider than your waist, and then it goes to your head. Or if it's jersey, like knit, stretchy, fine. But since I cut right on my waist size exactly, I need a zipper. So I'm gonna cut the side here, which is gonna be the opening for the skirt, or I'm gonna put the zipper. So I just cut a straight line here just where the fold was, right? And then I can go ahead and cut the skirt. The cutout will make a cute little circle pocket. Oh, that's cute. You can like line it, right? And then just place a pocket. That's a good idea. Don't tell me that because it's something else that I'm gonna save. I should just trash it. But I like circle shapes when it's patchwork and stuff. It's really beautiful. Or there's this designer that I always see in New York. I forgot the brand. That they just place circle like on t-shirts. They do like this applique or like a cutout on a t-shirt, and the cutout is a circle made out of silk velvet. It's pretty cool. I forgot the name of the designer. All right, so we have it. We have the skirt, guys. It's just the beginning, but it's something. Look. Woohoo, it's a skirt. Right? So now I gotta put the zipper. So the first thing is, I guess I'm gonna have to do the finishing on the side. Just do a zigzag real quick. Let me grab the machine. And then you guys can see from this angle now. I think it's good. Right? Yeah. So, oh, one thing I forgot to cut is the waistband, but I can do it later. So now I'm just gonna do the zigzag and then I'll apply the zipper. Isn't it beautiful? And I want to make a top and there'll be a set. I can't wait to see how it looks. I'm thinking summer already. I can't wait for summer. So I just do a zigzag on the edge here on that cut. So just does it won't unravel or anything. It could be a serger if you have a serger. One. Now the next side. Oh, I can't wait. Thank you. I like that you guys share you have a vision with me. Awesome. Awesome. So, okay, this is prepared. That's the boring part, so that's done. Now, before I put the zipper, I have to iron it. And so while my iron warms up, I'm going to cut the waistband real quick because I forgot. Let's see if this is enough for my waistband. Probably not. No, maybe here I can do it. Okay, so the trick with the waistband is I've done many times, and usually the easiest, if you're a beginner and if you don't want to like ruin it, make it weird, I cut the waistband narrow, so then there's less problems room to have issues. And so I think I did like a 2.5 inch or something. Here's my pattern, right? I cut half of it, so I'm gonna place on fold. This is it, and this is, just so you guys know, 2.5 inches. And it will fit here around my fabric. So I'm folding. Can you see it there? Yep. And then I place it here. Make sure there is material underneath. Pin it. And trace. And the thing about, if you watch the other class, the first part of this class, it was, I cut the waistband a little longer than my waist. So there's an overlap when you button, for the button and stuff. And well, I didn't trace super perfect, but that's good. That's okay. And someone the other day told me to cut a waistband on bias, and I never done that. Have you guys done that? If you on Facebook there, you might have more experience with waistbands. I usually cut on the right grain, straight grain. Okay, so I got the waistband. Woohoo! And then one thing I've already done is to cut the interfacing. Look, I already have the interfacing. So the next step is to glue this. And also, I should close that. Yeah, so I zigzagged. So I'm going to sew the skirt up until the zipper. This, you see. I just need to sew the side seam, right? Or the back seam, that would be. Oh, hi, Chloe. Look, you got featured. I didn't even see it. Sorry. Is is this a zipper opening that you're zigzagging? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So because I cut the whole circle, and then I open it to put the zipper. So then I zigzag just to help. Um, the sound of the scissor cutting the fabric is so satisfying. I know. It's like watching Bob Ross. Rob keeps saying like, "You're like Bob Ross." I wish. It stretches too much when it's on the bike. That's what I thought. Maybe if you put the fusible and it will not stretch. Yeah, that's why I always think like I see bias as like a stretch thing, so I can try sometime. But I think what she meant was like it would be more anatomical if you put on bias. I should message that lady and ask her. So I have a zipper. I usually buy zippers at a thrift store, so I buy any size they have. And this is like too long. So I think like 12, right? How much is enough for? So I'm just gonna go up to the middle here. I don't need to go all the way, and then I can crop the zipper and do a finishing for it. And then so I'm marking here. I'll put a pin, and then from the zipper. So I'm gonna close the seam from the zipper down. Okay, with straight stitch. Thinking of the seam allowance that I saved 1/2 inch when I cut the pattern. Do a reverse and go. All right, now we're good to press. Press the seam open. That's very important right now, especially because the way I'm gonna sew the zipper. Let me grab my ironing pad. So I just open the seam, press the seam open. No problem, Chloe. Look, just press it. And then, oh, that's ironing really nice. I think this fabric is really 100% cotton. So you see how I have this line here, right? That I just I folded, and it's so all I want to do is just to keep this folding up there, up to the top, because that's where I'm going to place the zipper. Up to the waistline. Just want to keep the same pattern of folding here. So it works like that. It's a little tricky, but it's okay. You can also like do the whole thing as with a long length stitch and then pull it. You know, you do up to here, do the reverse, change the length to long, and then keep doing it, and then press, and it'll be marked on the right position. Then you just pull the thread. Okay, that should be good for me to sew. Just making sure there. Then I can put it on the side. And now I'm gonna do the interfacing. Just glue the interface into the fabric. And I find, so this is like a, you know, it's a iron interfacing, so it has this glue. You don't want this glue to touch your iron, because that would be like a mess to clean later. So make sure it's like the texture side towards the fabric, and then just do a little steam, barely touching it. And so this way it melts and it sticks to the fabric. Ooh. Now I can go on the other side that's safe and iron it. Really nice. This is not the best interface I've ever used in my life, but you know, I usually like some that are thinner, but it is what it is. This is what I have right now. Here. So our waistband is ready. I'll put it on the side, and then we're gonna do the zipper. Let me leave the iron right here. So the zipper, the way I don't know if you guys saw the class the other day, and I do a little, I don't know if that's how you do, but that's how I like to do when it's just not an invisible zipper. In this case, I'll do an invisible zipper, but since it's a class, I want to show you the easier way to do. So I have this here, right, set up. I just want to place my zipper underneath and sew it. Yeah, the ironing on Amazon. Me too. Thank you for responding. Hi, Ebony. Oh, I'm glad you made it today. So pretty much it's just like, you want a zipper down there? Okay, you put a zipper. But I'll fold it on the inside so I can see better. It's like you wanted the one side to be a little across from the center, and then you can place a pin. And then the same, and then go down and just pin it. You can baste it if you feel more confident with the basting. Then I grab it from here. Make sure the thing is covered, the skirt is like covering at least halfway the center of the zipper. And there it is. Now the other side. And see, that's it. Pin. I guess, yeah, but I like to pin on the way that I'm gonna sew. You guys will understand that I'm sewing. If I'm starting from the sewing, I know some people pin like this way, right? I like to pin long ways, and I always like my zipper to face the tip of the pin to face the foot of the sewing machine. That's why I'm changing direction here. A couple more. and it should be good. All right. So now, I think the other camera is better. So now I'm just gonna stitch. I'm gonna put my zipper foot and then stitch starting from the top here, going around, do a little square corner here and go up. Thank you, Sandy. I love this fabric, and it was such a thing that I found. It was this crazy store. Rob was like, "Let's go to the store," and we drove there. It's like they have like furniture, a bunch of stuff, and then they have the fabric section. I even posted a video. You guys probably saw in stories. And then I found this one. It was like $5 or something for the whole piece. Look, I'm using the zipper foot. It's like a skinny, narrow little zipper. You guys probably know there. Then move the needle to the side. Straight stitch. Okay. Let's attach this. It's actually on the other side. Here it is. Okay, it's like an operation right now. Are you scared of zippers? Let me know. Who of you are scared of zippers? Let me know, because I know a bunch of you are. It's like, I don't try zippers. It's not difficult. You just have to give it a try. Okay, I'm just gonna concentrate a little. And it's twisting my fabric a little. Come on. Then I'm approaching the corner. I keep the needle down. Usually, if the zipper is the size that you're doing it, you gotta pay attention to the little metal piece. But in this case, I'm good because the zipper is long and the metal piece is down there. You're not scared? Oh, the zippers are not that bad. Try. I prefer zippers over buttons. Okay, I prefer invisible zippers than this kind. Marty, Mary, you guys are always scared. I have never sewn a zipper in my life, so I have nothing to fear, right? It's true. You're absolutely right. So now I'm doing the corner. Then turn it around and sew up to the waist. And I'm using white fabric, so it's not the exact color of my fabric, so I have to do a good finishing. There we go. I promise if you do this way I do the zipper, you can make it, because it's like you're seeing what's happening. It's not like any system or anything, you know, you just put the zipper there, sew on top, that's it, like a top stitch, and you're good to go. Okay, I think I made it. It twisted a little, but I think when I iron it will be fine. Look, for you guys here and there. See how it's like this, but I'm gonna press it and it'll be nice. Look. Okay, so the skirt is here. Now we have to do the waistband. And how do you do the waistband? You do the iron first. So I already attached the interfacing, right? And now I just want to fold my waistband in two, because then it'll be like how it will stay on the skirt, right? So just it helps when I'm sewing. I fold in half and press to have the little mark right there. My friend, I think I saw Shanji. Are you there? I just realized that you're Professora Jinga. So Shanji is my friend from high school, and his mother was the English teacher. Tell her I learned English. That's curious. Can I rewatch? Yeah, this will be on. This class is gonna be saved. It will be on IGTV later. Okay, so I have the waistband. Look how cute. Woohoo! Then, okay, this is the outside, right? This is gonna be on the skirt after we sew. And so to sew to the skirt, I fold right sides together and just do a stitch on the corner. So here it is for you guys on Facebook. I'm just gonna fold right sides together and stitch right here on both ends. Okay? Oh, let me press the zipper real quick so I feel better about it, because it's not perfect. Yeah, it fixed it. It's working. Woohoo. Beautiful. Okay. So now change the foot. Put back the regular foot. Move the needle to the center. And do a little stitch right there just to close that corner. One side and now the other side. Thank you guys for helping me respond each other. And hey, join the workshop. Have you signed up for the workshop yet? We're only almost only 2 days away. It starts on Tuesday. If you haven't yet, go to my bio and the link is there. It's a free workshop. I'm gonna teach you how to make clothes. So look, I have this tip, right? And I want to trim it. So I cut it real close to my seam here, Instagram. Look where I cut it, so I don't have extra bulky material inside. And then I'm gonna flip it inside. Ivania. That video is not available anymore. I'm sorry, everyone's asking, but that was like, this is gonna be part of my paid program, so I can't leave it on. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do something similar another time. The t-shirt. But it's easy. You can just get a pattern and make it. It's not hard, I promise. Oh, great. You'll be on the workshop. That's awesome. So now I'm just going to press again to make it even more flat and nice. And then we're going to sew it to the skirt. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. So look how I have the edge, right, of my zipper here. That's not perfect, but it's good. Oh, that's great, Sandy. You like to watch. Yeah, it's fun. I always learn something too. I watch YouTube. It's great, right? It's very fun. So the goal is to sew the waistband to the skirt like this, right? And guys, that's always, if I can teach you something that it's the way I think, that's how I think every time I'm sewing. Instead of following directions, I'm not good at following directions, never been. What I do is I look, I'm like, how is this going to be when it's done? And then I look at it and I put it together and then I figure out how to attach it. That's just how my brain works. That works for me. It might help you. Instead of trying to follow the direction, because when I read the direction in a book or something, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to do. But then I'm like, okay, the waistband is going to end up like this. So what way can I do to sew it in a way that the finishing is nice? And hey, if you're a beginner and you're not proficient and you can't really do all the steps I'm gonna do, you just sew the thing together. Okay, just attach there and then you have a skirt. The most important part is that you finish and you put a skirt and you zip up and you're like, okay, you can even do without the zipper, to be honest. If you make the waist bigger and then you could like tie this and then just have a little opening on the side and the fabric overlaps and it covers you and you don't need a zipper. Okay, I'm just saying. So you can always make it. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you choose cool fabrics and you have a cool idea of something that fits you well, you're good to go. But in this case, because I'm teaching, I have to teach the right way. And so I'm gonna start. Let me think for a second to figure out how I'm gonna do. So I'm probably gonna sew right sides together. No, the on the inside, and then I flip it. Yeah. So I'm gonna sew my waistband. First off, I have to see how much extra it is. So I'm gonna just compare the length of them because I want a little overlap here so I can put a button and make a buttonhole. Yeah, I have like about not much, like a little bit extra. So I'm gonna leave like 3/4 of an inch extra, and I'm sewing the waistband on the wrong side of the skirt, on the inside. So I just open up here, and I'm gonna do a stitch right here. Okay, look, just to attach them together first. And you could, because then I'm gonna flip it outside. You can do that from the outside as well, from the right side of the skirt. It will be as good. I just like to do this way because I can, when I do the top stitch, I'm sewing on the outside and I have more control of the final result. But, and I think in this case, you should probably, actually, I'm going to start from the other edge and have the skirt on top. And when I'm sewing a straight waist skirt, I just sew on top. I have the waistband on top and I'm attaching it. And I mean, like, here on the table of the sewing machine. But because it's like a round, it's a circle, it's a complete circle, the waist of the skirt, I'm gonna sew with the skirt on top. Okay. And so I'm gonna start from the other edge. And I'm making sure that I have extra length on my waistband so then I can overlap and have a button. Yeah, that's good. So just attaching it. And my seam allowance here is not very much, just like a little bit more than 3/4, like a centimeter about, or even less. Are you guys good there? Everyone alive? You can do the skirt on a bed sheet, like an old bed sheet. That would be a good way to try. And then, just use like an old sheet that you don't care much about it. And then it has enough room to do the whole skirt. It would be cool. All right, so I'm approaching the end. All right, it's attached. So now I'm gonna trim it because I don't want all this bulky stuff out there, but it's looking, I'm liking. So I'm just gonna do a little trim. In this case, I don't trim like super close to the stitch, to the seam. I just do a little trimming just to remove some of the bulkiness right here. Chloe, you're still alive. Can't quite see which way around. I know, yeah, there's oh, but you're on YouTube, right? Can you see? This is where, so I'll show you. Hold on, let me just trim this and I'll show, and then you can see better the uh the angle here. Hold on. Maybe if I place it like this. Thank you for letting me know, because I'm always trying to figure out the best way to show the process. When I'm doing like this, when I'm doing my course, for instance, then Rob is shooting and he does close-ups. There's three cameras and stuff, but me alone is difficult. Okay. So after attaching it and after trimming, that's what I ended up with. So here's the skirt, and I have my waistband attached like that. Look. Okay. There. You guys can see. And now I'm going to fold over like this and like that, and then just fold this part and sew and top stitch. You see? So look, at the inside is like that and the outside is like that, right? Look, the right side of the skirt. And then I just need the waistband to be like this, right? And for that, I fold this here and do a top stitch. And then before, I just want to iron it, so then it's nice like that. You got it? Okay, great. I miss how you figured out the size of her waist on the top of the skirt. So how I done is, I think I added like, this was on the first class. Jerry is her name. That was in the first part of the class. I think I added like 2 inches longer than my waist after the skirt waist, because the skirt, my waist is like 29. I added 1 inch as seam allowance, and then I added a couple inches more, 1.5, something like that, for the waistband, so it can have the overlap. It depends on on the design, because if you want to do like more than one button, or depends really how you want it to look. But one thing is important, and see, this one is not matching, and you always have to be careful, is that the length of both of them is going to match. So for me, I have to do a little more in right here, so it's the length of the zipper will be right. I'm getting, oh no, I'm getting really good at sewing standing. Oh, now this iron is in the front. So here it is. It's like a tiny difference, but then there, I just need those two sides to be even after I fold. So then the button works. I think this should be okay. All right. So now I open the zipper and I'm gonna press this part just to make the seam fold towards my waistband. And that you don't need to be like super crazy with this, but it'll help when you're sewing. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is to already fold, and that you could even pin. I'm gonna pin it so it's easier for me. Look, this is the waistband right here. So this part has to be inside, right? The skirt goes underneath there. Just make sure your angles are correct. And look, like that. Okay, so I'm folding, I'm gonna press it and iron it. Press it and pin it, sorry. Iron it and pin it. And that's like this is my least favorite part because it's always like a little tricky. But if you pin it, it will help. Hot. And just make sure, you know, you're folding in a way that is all the same width, right? You don't want a waistband to be like wide in one side and then narrow on the other side. Try to not stretch much because you don't want the top fabric to be like longer than the bottom. Ebony. Oh, okay. So you're ironing it already? Yeah, I'm ironing where I'm gonna sew the top stitch already. So then it's right there. When I sew it, I already, and I hope Camila is watching because she kept asking me that. That was her question about a circus skirt. She's like, I have to put the waistband. It's so hard. It is a little hard. I get it. It's not because the skirt is a circle, and then you're attaching like a straight thing to it. That's like this strip of fabric, right? The waistband. Can you guys see it there? It's a patient job here. You have to be patient. I would just say you're ironing upwards. Upwards. Oh, I was ironing to send the seam here upwards towards the waist. Yeah. Is that what you meant? And I forgot to pin here. Hold on. I'm halfway through. Yeah, I always press it because like I've done it without pressing, it's not as good. Then I already found the chip, and then I move on to the other edge because that's the corner where everyone's gonna see when the skirt is done. So I make sure this is nice, and then the finishing is like around here because sometimes this fabric is like too long, it stretches. But I put the fusible now; it should be okay. It shouldn't stretch. It's very common if you're a beginner. Hi, Camila, you're there. So that's how you put a waistband. So it's very common that the top fabric when you're sewing, it ends up longer than the bottom because the way the machine works. So don't get worried if that happens. It's not your fault. It's common. It happens to all of us. And there it is, guys. So now I'm ready to do the top stitch. Look, okay? And I go slowly and carefully. And so I'm gonna try to sew right on the edge because it looks better when you sew on the edge of the edge of the waistband. So let's see if I can do a straight stitch here. That looks good. Right? Bernina, help me here. And you see how I was talking about the pin. So my pin is facing the foot. So then when I approach there, I just pull it. That's why I like to always calculate my pin to be on this direction. That's what I was trying to tell earlier. Yay. And let me zip up and see if it's the length is right. It's right. Oh my goodness, it worked. Yay, that's it, guys. I made it. And let me tell you what I'm gonna do now. What's my plan? Because we reached the hour, and the next step is gonna be a little long, but I'll just tell you, and it's easy to understand. The worst is done. So look, right? And then my waistband is there. I try to stitch on the edge, you see, so then it looks well finished. You can also, my mom always says, like, do the whole thing so you can go around and do another stitch right on the edge here, like that. Look, you could do another one right here to, it's your taste, really. I try to avoid the least I can do, the better. So I think that's good. And then what I want to do now, hi, Lily. What's the waistband cut on the straight or of grain or bias? I cut. That's why we were talking earlier. I wish you were here, Lily. It's cut on straight grain, and someone told me to cut on bias. I never made the waistband on bias. I think it would stretch, but I should try sometime. Look, so here's the skirt, and so my plan is to have a ruffle because I want a volume, you know. So this thing, if I finish, I'll post tomorrow. But my plan is to do like a top, like a bralette, and then the skirt have like a lot of volume. So be like very not much material on the top, and then on the bottom a lot of material. So I'm gonna do ruffles, right? And how I'm gonna do ruffle is that I'm just gonna gather a bunch of fabric and attach to this edge, okay? Because you know the skirt could be cute already, but I want to add up to it. Look, to have weight also, because it would be like heavier and cool. And the way I'm gonna do that is measuring, which is a lot of measurement. How long is, so if I fold in four, it's easier for you guys to see. I'll measure this, multiply by 4, right? So then I know the whole length of the whole diameter of my skirt. That should be about, it's like 41. So 4 is like 164, right? 164 inches. And then I double that, or at least 1.5. So 164 plus 80 something, it would be like 2 something. And 2 4, I don't know, I can do math right now, but you double the amount and then I gather it and then attach to the skirt. That's easy. And you just, and I'll do probably like 10 centimeter, 10 inches long to add just like another 10 inches to the length of my skirt. All right, that's the plan. If I'm able to finish until tomorrow, I'll post it for you guys to see. Okay, guys, thank you for joining. If you have questions, send me messages and or email or anything. I'll respond, and I'll see you next time. Tomorrow, if I have time, I'll come up again. But then the workshop starts on Tuesday. I hope you all sign up, and I will see you then. Okay. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy your weekend. Bye, Lily. Bye, Chloe. Bye, guys. Bye, Camila. Camila, I want to see your skirt now. Put your waistband. Yeah, Sandy, I'll post it tomorrow. Promise.